Hello everyone, this is Melissa Omani Bellafontaine of Lovely Paper Crafters, and I'd like to show you a card tonight that was inspired from a gift that I got given by a friend named April. Her company is called Good Waves 2, and she makes beach glass artwork. And she sent me one of her beautiful pieces made with beach glass and rocks, and she painted the background, and I think it's just gorgeous. And as most of you know, I do have a turtle. Her name is Molly, and I've had her since I was 19 years old. So she is not a young turtle anymore. And she can live over 100 years, so I might have her until I'm old and gray, and that's okay. She's a good pet. And yeah, so this artwork has inspired me to make a card using my Whale Done stamp set with that little turtle in it. So I'm going to make a shaker card. And the suite I'm using to make the shaker card is on page 94 of our large catalog, and 95, and 96. There's 3 pages to that one. And I'm going to also use the paper. So the paper is called Whale of a Time Designer Series paper. And I'm also going to use the Whale of a Time sequence, and that's there, to go inside the card, to go in the shaker area. So the other thing we'll be using today, I just wanted to show you where these products were in the book. So what page 158 is the sequence. So right there, so page 158 is the sequence. And on page 162 is the adhesive we'll be using. So we will be using the strips over here at this side. And we'll also be using the Stampin' Seal Plus, which is up here. Actually, that's the one on this one here. Because we want our card to stay together really well, and that Stampin' Seal Plus is a little bit heavy duty of a adhesive, so it will make boxes and stuff like that. So that's what we want to use for this one. So I'm going to point you down here and show you the supplies I have started getting ready. There we go. Alrighty, so what I've gotten ready is a card of Just Jade, so Just Jade card. I've gotten 2 of the pieces of the Designer Series paper, so I'm using this one. And I'm also using the turtle paper. I'm using 2 squares, and that's the Pretty Peacock paper. 3, let me measure that again. I probably have the wrong side on my thing. So it's 3 1/4 inch by 3 1/4 inch, and then 3 1/4 inch white piece, and then we're going to use the window sheets. So the window sheets is on page, and I know I marked it off here so I could show you which pages they're on. Apparently I didn't mark that one off too well. So the window sheets are on page 153 of our book. So they are right here. Okay? So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut out our opening where we're going to put our little turtle, and we are going to take this one, so our square with the opening, and you're just going to take this Stampin' Seal Plus, which is very, very sticky, and you're just going to seal that down, and you're going to take our window sheet and you're going to place that right on top. And I made the window sheet a little bit smaller than the whole square just so you don't see the window sheet, and then you're just going to make sure that is stuck down there really well so it'll look like that. Okay, and then the next part we're going to do is we're going to take our little white piece of paper here. I'm just going to move that up so you can see it, and we're going to take our turtle stamp. We're going to use our Memento, and you're always wanting to use Memento because we are going to use our Stampin' Blends for this card. So you're just going to put him right in the middle of the card if you can. And if you just want to make sure that so he looks great in there, you just don't want to cover him up. The other thing we're going to use from this stamp set is these little, hi Joan, these little, I don't know what they're called, weeds. I don't even know what they're called in the ocean. If you know what these names of whatever these are called, you'll let me know. I'm not sure what they're called. And then we're going to stamp that down. I'm just going to get one more color. So we're going to take Just Jade. We're going to take the Just Jade and we're going to stamp that right on there. So just like that. You just don't want too much empty space, because when you have the shaker happening, you kind of want to fill up the space a little bit. Alrighty, so we're going to take, I shouldn't be moving my papers all willy-nilly all over the place. I'm going to lose them. So we're going to move this back over here. We're just going to make sure on our, so maybe I'll want to put more here and more here. Just fill up the space with them. They're kind of a weird shape, so it's a little bit harder to see where you're putting them. But you're just going to want to fill it up. So fill up that space so when you do put the so fill up the space. So just like that. And then when you cover it up, you won't see that many of them, but then it will look more like the ocean. So it'll look like that. Okay, so before we cover it up, I'm going to color in the little turtle. So the colors I'm going to use for this are the Pretty Peacock. So we're going to use Pretty Peacock. We're going to use Mint Macaron. I do love this stamp set too, Joan. It's one of my favorites. And then Just Jade. So that's the colors we're going to use for this card. You're going to use the lights and the darks for it. I'm going to start with the Mint Macaron, the lightest color. So you always want to start with the Stampin' Blends going from light to dark. The reason you want to do it this way is because when you go dark first, you can also make it too dark. So you don't want to make it too dark. There is a color lifter marker, and that's this one here, but that only takes stuff off, like say if you by accident go over his foot and you didn't want it that far. It fixes those kind of mistakes. It won't fix if you make your whole card way too dark in the beginning. So this one we're going to use to just go over the darkest parts. And I'm just going to color in the shell. And then we're going to take, so that was with the Pretty Peacock, and then we're going to take our light Just Jade, and you're going to color in some of the spaces just to make the darker spots a little darker. And give them some highlights. There we go. So I'm going to show you up close what that looks like. So I just gave them a little bit more color. Now you'll see that there's a little bit of smudge here, and that's okay. We're going to probably cover most of that smudge up when we go over with our frame. And we're also going to put sequins inside. So when we put the sequins in, that'll cover it up too. So don't worry about the mistakes you made. Sometimes you get ink all over your hands, and that's okay. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to take our little green, so this is our background paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape or glue this down, not tape it down, we're going to glue it down. And then we're going to use this background piece to kind of get it set in the middle. And then we're going to put the, which I've already cut. These are the, I'm going to have to get the name of them out because I always call them by the wrong name. So they're on the same page as the adhesive. So they are called the foam adhesive strips, and they're on page 162. So you're just going to cut these strips the same length as your and you're going to put them right along the white edge there, like that. And you're just going to try to match them up the best you can, so they make a square shape. And I wouldn't take off the tops of them until you're done putting down all of them, because you'll have them sticking to everything. So just put them all down, and then you can take the top cover off of them. And then the next part is we're going to take our sprinkles. Here, I'm not going to put all of them in there. You're just going to put some of them so we can shake them around. And you want to make other cards with it. So what I would do is go to the bottom and see how it looks at the bottom of your card. And you probably wanted to take off the adhesive last because they're getting stuck to everything. But of course I did that beforehand. And that's alright. So I like that amount in there because it'll shake, but when it sits in the bottom, it'll show at the bottom. And you're not using all of them. You still have tons left. And then you're going to take your top frame and you're going to cover right over top of that. So you're kind of match the top frame up with the bottom frame. Yep. And watch if you take this off, you don't flip all of your sequins all over the place. You want to match that up as best you can. So there we go. So that's how we make our little shaker frame. So that's how it'll look. And I did kind of go sideways somehow. I'm going to do it one more time. Try to pull it back. Sometimes when I cut these shapes, I'm not being very careful. And I get one a little bit smaller than the other, and then they don't match up properly. So you want to make sure your shapes match up before you try to put it together. My sequins escaping. This is why I'm not very great at 3D projects. Because everything gets all over my fingers. Alright, let's try this one more time, see if I can match up this frame. Alright, that turned out a lot better. Alrighty, so there's our frame, and then when you shake it around, you get... Okay, and then we're going to add it to the card. So we're going to take our Just Jade base. We're going to put down the seaweed, I guess you would call it, on the bottom. And... oh, out. I'm almost out. For some reason, every time I make a card online, something will happen to my adhesive. It's like a, I don't know, sick joke. That my adhesive likes to do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't listen very well. Because your adhesive shouldn't get stuck, but mine is right now. Alright, so we're just going to use, because this is not as, we're not so worried about it sticking down so perfectly. It was just the first frame that we wanted to make stick on perfectly. We will put this, just make sure our frame is looking straight. There we go. And then we're going to put that down here. like that. And then we're going to put the turtle paper on top. We're just going to glue that down, all 4 sides, and you're going to put them so just like that. Hi Jane, thank you. So we're just going to take him and we're going to glue him down onto the paper. And now if you want more of your turtles, like these turtles showing, you can move him wherever you want. I'm just going to have all their heads kind of showing in the picture. And then you just glue him down like that. And then it will shake all you want. And I'll make a really pretty card. I've always wanted to do a turtle card. Now you can also take this paper that we use here. You can also cut out these turtles and make a really gorgeous card. You can also cut out the other paper with this. So you could have cut out this paper and put him inside instead of stamping him. Would have been a cool card too. So there's a whole bunch of different things we can do. So that's all for tonight. Join me on Tuesday. I'm going to be doing this card here. So, put it upside down. This card here. So I'm going to show you how to do that one. It's a very pretty card. It's a really pretty technique, and you can use it. So I'll show you how to do it. It's a pretty easy technique to do with bigger stamps like this one here. And I'm going to show you how to do that on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, and I will see everybody on Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Have a good night.